This morning's topic is very important for a destination like ours, with only 1,064 hectares, but we are annually targeting 392 million just to sustain our operations, which is mostly tourism-oriented. From the internal revenue allotment, we get a 20% share, but there's a lot of infrastructure needed at this point where Boracay is redeveloping. What does the redevelopment stage mean for us? It means that while we are welcoming an increase in tourism in the coming years, we are also very conscious of the fact that there is a need to sustain our development. And sustaining means that to preserve our island, there needs to be movement and relocation of non-tourism activity from this island to the mainland. So it is our target to really come up with a master development, a parallel one for the mainland Malay, so that we can declog our island from non-tourism activities. This is to ensure that our sustainable development in the years to come will enable us not only to redevelop, but in fact, develop as well new destinations, not only in Boracay, but that which is already existing in our mainland and also in the rest of the province of Aklan. Our tourism island is only 1,064 hectares, yet it is able to capture 26% of the tourism market of the Philippines. Our annual tourist arrival is about 1.5 million. So the Department of Tourism in the year 2018 is targeting to bring in 2.8 million tourists for our island. So while we look at taxation both as a friendly tool to increase and supply what we have in our existing demand of 10,000 rooms, we are also very, very cautious that we must be able to develop our product, our destination well, so that we can be able to sustain it in the years to come. So this morning, it is our fervent hope that while we are discussing on taxation policies, like our anchor has earlier said, that we make this a very lively one, we hope that our taxation policies along line as we conceptualize them today, as we discuss about them today, that we will also carefully think on our destination development and management. So with that, I'll keep it very simple because I'm more excited to hear what is to be discussed on the floor today in behalf of Mayor John Yap and the Sangguniang Bayan of Malay. Let me teach you in a tourism manner how to say good morning in our Boracay Island. It's maayad-ayad na agahon sa tanan. Thank you very much.
Honorable Joben Miraflores.
Thank you, ma'am, for that kind introduction. It's not true that I'm the most energetic governor in the Philippines. I'm just one of those governors who try to work very hard to develop our very small province of Aklan. But before I go on, may I recognize my Vice Governor who will be participating in this conference, Vice Governor Gabrieli Billy Calizo Kimpo. She's over there. She's the beautiful lady over there in red. She will be participating in your workshop. May I also recognize a good friend, Mr. Assistant Secretary Alan Canizal of the Department of Tourism, and the lead shepherd for APEC for this conference, Mr. Javier Guillermo Molina. Did I pronounce that right, sir? And all the other participants to this conference, the officials of APEC, officials of the World Tourism Council, and all the other organizations represented here. In behalf of the province of Aklan and its people, I would like to welcome all of you to this province of Aklan, where the famous island of Boracay is located. Boracay is more known than the province of Aklan. That's why when I introduce myself, sometimes I introduce myself as the governor of Boracay, not anymore the Boracay, because nobody recognizes Aklan, because we're just a very small province in the country. Indeed, it is reassuring to know that even as we intensify our tourism development efforts, recognizing tourism as the springboard to the economic prosperity that we all aspire for, we have the Department of Tourism and the World Travel and Tourism Council unified in their objective to raise awareness on the latest tourism trends and respond on issues and development relevant to the industry. Thanks to our private and public sectors in all parts of the industry worldwide. Let me stress that Boracay Island has become one of the most important tourism destinations, not just in the province, but in the country as a whole. Aklan, because of Boracay, is now known and recognized as a major contributor to the country's economy. We targeted 1.5 million tourists for 2014, and we fell short by a few thousands. Our take on this statistic is not that we fell short of target, but instead that we triumphed despite man-made or natural calamities. Translated into tourism receipts, visitor arrivals in 2014, as per the Department of Tourism estimates, was able to generate 41 billion pesos for the country's economy. From our Caticlan-Cagban jetty ports operations, Aklan managed to generate revenues in the amount of 294 million in 2014. This represents almost 60% of the 491 million locally sourced income contribution to the total provincial income of 1.09 billion. What we did was, in order to generate funds, direct revenues to the province, we created a department of the ports of Caticlan and Cagban, wherein we charge terminal fees to all tourists that comes to the island of Boracay. For a small province with a locally sourced income comprising up to 45% of its total earnings, clearly it can be attributed to nothing but a concerted effort by our people and our government workers who develop and implement responsive tourism policies and programs. Compare this with the average local earnings of all the other provinces in the country of an average of 10 to 15% only. Thanks to all tourism stakeholders for handling this delicate industry with care, which enabled the province to be recognized due to its highest contribution of locally sourced income amongst the country's 81 provinces. But with this shared achievement, it brings about again another shared challenge, the challenge of maintaining our lead as the country's premier tourism destination. Now, Boracay Island is also the country's new cruise haven, as we received 9 cruise ships visits last year. Of this figure, 4 are maiden voyages from the world's most luxurious cruise liners. For 2015, 12 cruise ships have been scheduled, mostly from the Royal Caribbean. Right now, the national government has allocated a budget to develop a port in Caticlan, that is in the mainland of Aklan, to receive these cruise ships in the future. Indeed, we need a shared vision to assess the impact of current taxation measures in our respective economies and provide a comparative analysis of taxation levels in the travel and tourism industry against taxes imposed on other key sectors. I think this will be the main topic of your discussions for the rest of the day. Again, my thanks to this invitation. Let us continue to make tourism a reliable source of livelihood for our people and for our government, revenues urgently needed for our development programs. Again, welcome to Boracay, and I'm sure some of you have already experienced the white beaches of the Long Beach. I'm sure you have also experienced already the beautiful sunset of the island of Boracay. But I really would like to invite you also to the other places in Boracay, especially the party places of Boracay. And tomorrow, the Department of Tourism, in cooperation with the province of Aklan, has prepared something for you in the Long Beach. We will have a presentation by the Cultural Center of the Philippines to to show to you the culture of the island of Panay, of Western Visayas, and to party in the white beaches of Boracay. Thank you and good day.
And now, in behalf of the APEC Tourism Working Group, I'd like to welcome our lead shepherd, Mr. Javier Guillermo Molina.
Good morning, everybody. I will be very brief. You have been listening to me for 2 days non-stop, so I will be very brief on my comments and to the point. Good morning again, dear officials from Boracay Province, Aklan Province, dear officials from the government of the Philippines. Thank you very much for your presence today and for taking some time to listen to all of the things the Tourism Working Group has to say. I want to thank the Philippines for organizing this conference and thank all of the speakers for your participation today. Over the past years, there has been an extraordinary growth in travel and tourism in the region. Just last year, the Americas grew 7%. The Asia Pacific grew 5%. The region is growing well above average. All this producing more business, more jobs, more opportunities, and a better life for the APEC, for the people in the APEC. I am very glad to join you today in this important conference, a milestone of one of our Tourism Working Group initiatives. During the last 2 days, we have been reviewing the progress on the different initiatives that we're working on. Taxation policy, travel facilitation, MSMEs, connectivity, smart and secure traveler-friendly programs, airport friendliness, among others. But certainly, this initiative attracted a lot of interest among member economies since we started talking about this project in 2013. I believe that properly constituted taxes are certainly a necessity and a legitimate fiscal tool for every economy, as they create a level playing field for private enterprises, and the tourism sector should naturally contribute to it. Like I mentioned at the beginning, tourism activity has been growing at a higher rate than the economy in general, and it is one of the most dynamic economic sectors. Nevertheless, this should not be translated into an increase of taxes. The sector has proven to be resilient and contributed to the recovery of many of our economies. Thus, fiscal policymakers should bear in mind not only the short-term revenue, but the medium and long-term impacts on its power to create economic growth and development while designing new taxes. Heavy-handed, arbitrary taxes, levies, visa fees, or airport fees can be counterproductive to the economy and sustainable tourism development, reducing visitors' demand for these services, affecting the sector contribution to the GDP, employment, and MSME development. Certainly, the impacts of fiscal policy vary from one economy to the other, depending on its price elasticity of the demand, but in any case, it should be approached cautiously to ensure it maximizes the growth of domestic and international travel and tourism in the region and does not create hurdles in this activity. Economies should strive to develop what the UNWTO has called intelligent taxation policies, as opposed to uniform taxation. These policies maintain the efficiency of the fiscal system by adapting it to the changing environment and the volatile requirements. This will be possible by keeping taxes simple, fair, and aim at promoting stimulus and growth. Taxes that do not end up killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. Taxes that are correct. And today we will be discussing exactly this. How can taxation be healthy to the industry? We know that there is a price to be paid, but we have to find ways to make it so it pays back like an investment. We welcome the Philippines' leadership in this initiative, as well as the engagement of other economies such as Chile, Indonesia, Korea, and Peru, and look forward to learn from its conclusions. We will all benefit from the exchange of best practices and learn from success stories. I wish you all a successful meeting and a fruitful discussion. Thank you.